one.
Good morning, everyone. I guess it feels like a really early morning for you coming over from the States. My name is Stefan Bergström. I come from the smallest municipality in Sweden, Sundbyberg, only 3.5 square miles.
My name is Gösta Norén. I'm from the municipality of Upplands Väsby, just south of Sigtuna and Arlanda Airport. And we like Podcars.
And I'm Tom Karlsson. I'm street and park manager in the city of Uppsala, which is north of here. I'm fond of Podcars. I don't know if my politicians are.
Lars Brunström, Sigtuna Municipality. I think I have introduced myself earlier.
Hello, my name is Christer Lindvall. I'm coming from the culture of Europe, Umeå, in the north of Sweden, the same as Riga in Letland. And I'm also a member of the Compass board, so before can discuss.
You can keep the mic, because Compass 15 members. Here's 5, and I think it's important to understand the diversity of different mindsets, small community, big community, old, new, whatever. What can Podcars maybe be part of in your development? So I was thinking of having 5 different views of what is that a good thing, and how can that be a good thing, and where can it be a good thing, and what is the process, what is the hurdles, what is the challenges, and what is your personal view? So just to bring that a little bit more to context, in different context, and can you explain your town up in Umeå, and where do you think it's a good idea, possibility, and please.
We have done a report about that together with VSP and EST. And it's Umeå is a big, I think it's 5 to 45 for the student, town for student. And we grown about 1,000 people every year. So it's become bigger and bigger. And then you must discuss, okay, how can we get the roads or this podcar in the city, not to raise the old town, but how can you have a complement? So it's in university and the hospital, it's about 50,000 people who gets there every day. So that was one of the hubs in the city. The other was the airport. We have Fredrik told about Arlanda, and we have connected with Arlanda in many cases, because we have about 1 million passengers who come to our city. So it's that was the other place we took. The third place was that we are planning a quite new city part. And we have said in the politics, we don't want the car in that new place. They must have something else. So that was the Podcar came in the report. How can those people who moved there, and how can they come to other places in the city? But always you came in a discussion with the other people in the country at, okay, who will be the first? And we have, say, from Umeås, that it's Sigtuna and Arlanda. We want that the national level says, okay, this is the pilot for the whole country, and we get money so they can get from the government level. So that's our position today.
Shall I go on? Okay, then I have first of all to admit that I am a little responsibility for the fact that Hans Lindqvist is so much in force of these questions. In my early position I was in the political leadership of Värmdö municipality, and we pointed out Hans to be a leader on these questions in our municipality, which has been quite successful. When I moved to Sigtuna municipality 2 years ago, I had in mind that when we talk about Podcars, I think that they have been always very interesting and very future designed, especially because of two things. First is sustainability, and the other one is flexibility. And when I moved from Värmdö, which I thought was not perhaps the perfect place for them, I had in mind that I think there are two places in Stockholm area that are very interesting when it comes to Podcars. The problem is, of course, that Podcar is a very good answer. The question is, what is the question? What is the need? And I think that the need for Podcar solution should be either in Arlanda airport area, especially when I've been here discussing the development of the public transportation system between Märsta and Arlanda to strengthen up this center in the region. The other place was in Skärholmen, Kungens Kurva, where we have IKEA, Skärholmen, big part of, a lot of people there, a big need for efficient transportation, small scaled. That was perfect, I thought. That was not successful a few years, 10 years ago, it was not pointed out. But really, I think that there could be a possibility in Arlanda-Märsta area, because the need of this region is to find out how we should combine the building of an airport city and having efficient transportation system, both for things, goods, and for people. And the fact that this solution is sustainable and also flexible, in fact, is something that makes it very interesting from my point of view as being the politically responsible for those questions. But should we be successful, we need to organize this in a way that it should be industrialized. We have to find a commercial concept. We have to have close cooperation with important business companies that are really interested in this. And we also need the support from the national level, of course. I can very much agree about that.
Okay, in the city of Uppsala, we see the Podcar system as a part of a combined transportation system, perhaps with light rails, perhaps with BRT or other bus system. But in the center of the city, which is very narrow streets and a lot of journeys of the whole is in the center of the city. Let's say about 20-25% of the journeys is actually in the center of the city. So the Podcar system is a perfect system to take care of those, because it's cars and buses and walking, cycling. So therefore, the Podcar system in the center of the city is a good thing. Perhaps I'll come back to talk more about.
No, please continue.
I have here many papers. This is a final draft for an application to the ELINA, which is a subcommittee of the European Investment Bank. The project has been going on for several years, and I see Carl-Johan Engström and I see Jan Grafner, who started this 10 years ago, I think. And 1.5 years ago, we were as far as this to send in an application for for the final, I should say the final aim to present a document for the politicians later to take decisions to go or not go. This needed decisions from the municipality council, but also from the regional council, because most of you know that the municipality is responsible for the infrastructure, but the regional council is responsible for operating the public transportation. Unfortunately, and the third part, of course, is the Swedish Trafikverket. The traffic, what do you call it in English?
Traffic
The
administration.
road administration, yes.
Swedish.
And two parts stood up behind this, but the regional county didn't vote for it. So this is ice cold for the moment. I don't say dead, it's only freezing for the moment. But instead we started a feasibility study for light rails, and we presented that last week, actually. It's in the paper. You know, this transportation with Podcars will cost us about $100,000 million, not so much money. This is $1,400 million for 20 kilometers of light rail. I don't say it is wrong, but I will point out how the discussion goes. In this political column, it's written like this: light rail at a cost of $1,400 million, 20 kilometers. A modern light rail has big capacity. And here it comes. And must not be mixed up with Podcars. Light rail can offer traveling with high quality and contribute to create a vibrant urban environment, meaning Podcar can't. So that's a problem for us. We haven't managed to convince people or politicians that Podcar as well can contribute to this. Well, that's a short of Uppsala for the moment.
Thank you.
Hello. In Upplands Väsby, we did a pre-study in 2011, and then we showed that these Podcar systems are better in sustainability, it's better in an economic way, and it has its capacity, and it will improve the public transportation system locally between important points in the local community as well. So the political leadership in Upplands Väsby is very keen on Podcar systems. But we have also studied the finite possibilities, and there is a lot of money who wants to invest in this kind of systems. But who will run it? That's the big question. And we have said in Upplands Väsby, we will not run it alone, but together with other, as Sigtuna, Arlanda, you have a critical mass, and we probably get this ball rolling. The big problem, I think, is that you have to have a responsibility on the county level and the national level, and we haven't seen that yet. I think also one of the questions that is important, that this kind of system is complementary, and it will help us to solve the problem with public transportation, the last mile. And then I think a very important issue that this kind of system can be solving.
And I will tell you a little bit of Sundbyberg, which is directly, we have Stockholm all around us. It's the smallest municipality of all the 290 municipalities in Sweden, if we talk about the size. As I said before, we only have 3.5 square miles. We are also the most densely populated, with 43,000 people now. In 10 years, we will reach 65,000 people. which will be 18,000 people per square mile. We are the fastest growing municipality in Sweden. We are competing with Sigtuna, I think. And we have the lowest percentage of car ownership. 27% of our citizens own a car. And that number is actually going a bit down because now there are less and less young people who are taking their driver's license compared to before. We have the best access to public transport. We both have a subway, we have regional trains, suburban trains to Gothenburg. We have tram, we have buses, and we also hope to have electric boats traveling on the water. We have done a very light pre-study yet about Podcars. We are now in the process of making a more professional one. And we also have to include some spots that are within 1 mile from our municipality border. We have Kista, very close to us, which is the Swedish Silicon Valley. We have the National Arena for soccer, which is also very much used for concerts. We have Solvalla, which is the biggest horse racetrack in Northern Europe. And we also have Bromma Airport, the other airport in Stockholm area. And from my place, it takes 25 minutes walking from my apartment to when I'm on the plane. It takes 25 minutes if the security control is fast. So for being efficient in this process, we also have to include the neighboring cities in this. So that is the point where we are right now, and I hope I have a lot more to tell you next year when we meet again, hopefully.
Okay, since we are 5 here, are we waiting for each other? Are anyone brave enough to be first mover? Or we are waiting for something else? Every second year I have noticed there's a new Podcar implementation around the world. So it seems to be true. But how to organize things and can anyone be brave to be first, you think, here?
Well, I really hope so. We are a mix here of both. We are 3 politicians, and they are working as professionals. So now we have elections, which will determine the next 4 years in Sweden. And I really hope that also we politicians in Compass will really push each other and cooperate very well. So I think Sundbyberg, my city, is the last one who have done this pre-study. So I hope that some of the people that are in front of us will take a big step. What do you say, guys?
Absolutely, it's interesting that Sundbyberg and Sigtuna Sundbyberg is the smallest municipality in Sweden, as you said. Sigtuna municipality is the municipality with the most restrictions according to building due to the noise from Arlanda, of course, and still with the 2 municipalities of Sigtuna and Sundbyberg is growing the most. We are building most flats, perhaps because we have the same political majority in both of our municipalities. Who knows? And that's a different one than most other municipalities in the area. Anyhow, I'm quite sure that there will be a development of Podcars. The question is not if, the question is where and when. And from my earlier work, I was the director within the government administration. I know that in public administration there is also a lot of conservatism. And there is also a lot of frightenedness of being the one that made some mistake. And I think that is one important thing to think about in these questions. As I said before, Podcar is a very good answer. But what is really the question? Where is the need the biggest? And I can assure you that in Arlanda-Märsta region, we really have a big need. The reason for that is that we are, as I said before, developing an airport city. The idea of this airport city is that the airport should not only be a place to come to and then go to another place. The airport should be a point to go to itself. In a lot of other countries in Europe, and I guess in all of the world, they are building up airport cities. And the idea of that is, of course, to create work, to improve, to encourage companies that needs a few to the rest of the world to be in close contact to the rest of the world. And we need, of course, an efficient transportation system within this airport city. And we also need an efficient transport system in the regional base, Arlanda and Märsta. Today it is a little problem for us that it's very easy to go from Arlanda to Upplands Väsby. It takes only 7 minutes. And it's easy to go from Arlanda to Knivsta on the other direction, on the Uppsala direction. That takes also 6-7 minutes. But going by public transportation from Arlanda to Märsta takes 15 minutes, even though it's only a few kilometers. But the public transportation system is really. And if we mean that we should have a hub and a regional center, Märsta Arlanda, we need to develop the local transportation system. Then the question is, what solution should we choose? We need to choose one. And I'm quite convinced that if we have the courage, if we can convince also other people to support, and if we could find the industrial solution, the concept of commerce, of the industrial commerce, the industrial concept, then we could be successful in this area to be first in Sweden. I do really think so. But of course we have to need to convince a lot of partners, and that is what we are working with now.
I have had many talks with our party leader in Social Democrats, and I'm glad that he is an industry man. He can think, as we in the Podcar, that okay, this can be a national project that we can show other people how we can build. And that is why Umeå has says, now wait a minute, we want Arlanda project for the first, for what is best for the politics. Yes, that they came from all kind of interest, and all they want to get money from the national level. And then it's difficult, and it's easy to say, no, I can't choose one of you. But we want to say, okay, we want one in Sweden, and we see Arlanda is the best thing to start with. So we can have, because in our city we have many meets at the Arlanda. There came people from all kind of Europe's countries and in Sweden, and it's easy to meet in Arlanda, and then we go home in the different direction. So but it's very important that we have infrastructure who is built for the people so they can travel in the area. So we support you very much in the talks with the government. It's not that usual. We always fighting about the money, but in this thing we have concentrated for one. It's more difficult for the leader in the government to say, no, it's many, but if we go together and ask for one thing, then he has a problem.
Or a solution.
Well, since this is a huge exercise in logistics to get this done, I think we have focused very much on talking to explorers, to landowners, different authorities and so on, stakeholders and so on. But basically it's an issue to get the politicians to dare to take the decision, and in the end the public, to get the public to demand this. And we need, I can take an example. Very many in the community says, we want to be number 2, let number 1 take the risk and do the problem, take the problems. In Uppsala, we were in the lead of the biogas technique. Did the some mistake, or Janne, he said true. But we are in the lead now and very successful producing biogas. That's a good example that it's good to dare to be number one. So in the end, I think we need a political frontman who is determined and sustained and convincing, together with us, of course, technicians. So more of that, and I think more of marketing of this product to the public.
I think also Arlanda case is very important, but in Upplands Väsby we have the political leadership behind us, so we are willing to go hand in hand with Sigtuna, Märsta, Arlanda, and be one of the first, not the first, but one of the first, I think. So cooperation, I think we are very close to each other and we have almost the same view.
I can also add that according to our Arlanda region, we are 4 municipalities, Upplands Väsby, Sigtuna, and also Vallentuna and Knivsta. And we have decided together that we should have a part regional development plan, which should discuss different questions that are important around Arlanda. Housing situation is of course one. The other one is transportation, and then it's a question of work, of course.
And I also will, the very important thing is to combine the building of houses and transportation system, and the public transportation system is the most important issue in that development.
I think that is one of the key things, that we politicians, we also cooperate with politicians in the neighboring municipalities to think about the whole, because our citizens, they don't really know sometimes which municipality they live in, because they move over a big area, so they don't care about our stupid limitations. So we have to think bigger, I think.
Yeah, I just recall the broadband was once Mats Hult who just said, okay, let's dig down some fiberglass and see what's happening. And suddenly we have Silicon Valley, the Kista, and everything. So, and I strong that someone is taking the lead, and all together you have the industry base. A lot of jobs coming out. A lot of save lives, greener, better energy efficiency, whatever. Big things on stake here. Questions to these gentlemen? Anki.
Good day to you all. I'm the Municipality Commissioner of Upplands Väsby Centerpartiet. We are, as Reza said, really keen on implementing this Podcar in Upplands Väsby. Together with the others in Arlanda region. One of the main issues for us to continue is the cooperation with Trafikverket, SL, someone who wants to find the solution. How can we as a municipality go on together with SLM and Trafikverket, because we can't make this happen by ourselves. So this is a question, if you want to answer here in the public, I'm really be interested to see how you think about it.
Should we?
Could you repeat that, please? It was hard to hear.
This was an invitation to have a reply from the Swedish Transportation Administration. You want to reply, please, Bo? Or?
Well, can you come to the mic? With the mic, or you come down?
We need them, yes, we need them.
No. Bo answer something else.
Well, the question was what Trafikverket, the traffic administration, wants to
do in this case. And I say that we have different standpoints about this issue. We are, of course, interested in new solutions, but we're also a bit reluctant to invest or support things that is not proven. It is, of course, interesting to try new things, but it's not a good way if it's not working. And we know that it's a matter of fact, it's always a problem. But we have said that we are interested in looking together with those who are interested in developing this or having this done. And as we will discuss this afternoon, the development in autonomous cars is a possible way forward for this, while we see the massive investment cost and the associated risks in pure podcast systems as maybe not mature yet. But we haven't closed the door, but we are, as many others, not going to take the lead role.
Just Göran.
First, a question to who not proven, you said, but there are already 4 systems on a world scale that are up and running, so isn't that proven? Second, I would say that for the Stockholm County Council, I have studied the public transport mode share, the market share for public transport trips, since 1980. And it's been totally constant in terms of trips per inhabitant. It has increased only the last 2 years by 4%. On the other hand, the supply of seat kilometers for the public transport system in Stockholm County has increased by almost 40%. So it is not, the existing system is not attractive enough. And all politicians from all parties want to increase the market share for public transport and reduce greenhouse emissions. So I'm wondering why the national government, the transportation administration doesn't put money on PRT when it's in fact already proven in other countries like Britain, United States, Abu Dhabi and South Korea.
Larry?
I'll speak loud. For the gentleman who walks to Bromma Airport, you said you're the last one doing the pre-study. My question is, are you doing that with your municipal staff, or are you using outside consultants? If so, who are they?
It's not.
The pre-study we have done is with municipality staff, but we are now in the process of making it with more professionals. So yeah.
I think you have a question, Ron? Yeah. Okay. Otherwise, I give some tricky one.
So,
Please repeat the questions then, because if not, we can't hear it.
So Lars, you mentioned finding partners, and I heard also the concept of industry partners. I wonder if any one of you could list one company inside your city which could be a major industry partner that would give jobs to people in your community.
Yes,
Oh, good. Tell me, who?
I can.
Really?
He wants in Umeå we have Volvo. In the Grand Town we have Hägglunds and Sons. They are making for the Krieg's industry. So it's and you have.
As I said, I'm quite sure this will come. It is not a question of if, it's a question of when. And I know that everyone wants someone else to be the first, and then to be. And I think that being the first, to be powerful enough and have the guts to be the first, you need a good industrial solution with a commercial concept and good cooperation with companies. What will be the future for the Swedish vehicle industry? What are the big construction companies interesting in the future? When we build Arlanda, Airport City Stockholm, around Arlanda, of course the ground will be worth a lot if we don't need very big roads, if we can have the transportation system in the air instead. And when the commercial concepts are taking care of that, then we will have a catch-up effect.
I think the question was if you have local industry partners that are keen to join in a possible development of podcasts in the
construction companies.
And I know that Gösta have done the homework. He has a whole list.
Yeah, we have some companies that are interested in our community. It's the owners of the Infracity, the biggest industrial or for commercial in Upplands Väsby. And we have Siemens in our city. They are interested to move together with the community. And also construction companies like Skanska and Peab are interested to join the development that we have studied and asked.
Well, Sundbyberg is almost totally non-industrial city. We only have very small industries, so not on this scale that is needed for this.
Yes, just to finish off, to think about something during lunch. What is the hurdle? What is the trick? The next in the phase forward? Do you have something that is needed to be fixed or thought of? Is it a technical thing? Is it a political thing? Is it a process thing? Is it how to convince public awareness, or is it something that is stopping you?
I think we all have to show our faith about this also when we talk to people. For instance, the podcar that Compass has, we will display it on Saturday in 2 of our parts of Sundbyberg. And to display a podcar live for people will interest them a lot, and also they will learn much more. This is a topic that is very difficult to talk about with people because it's very like sci-fi. But when people can see it real, it really changes their mind very quickly, and they get very interested in it. So I think that's a part of it.
I think you have to have some partners that are very convinced that it will drive this through. And I think the best case in Sweden is in this area. And if we can join the venture between Sigtuna, Arlanda, Märsta, Swedavia, we have a case.
Well, in Uppsala, I think this is one of the best project ever, because everyone, the Elena asks us, when do you send this application in? They practically throw money of this project, but it's a political matter. It needs political decisions. We have the road administration is guaranteeing their part, and we're just waiting for a political decision in the regional council. So it's that.
I'm quite convinced that the year 2015 will be a very important year. That will be the year when we can decide whether the catch-up effect will come or not. I think it's a sharp case around Arlanda. There is a real need. This need about public transportation must be solved. And I am quite optimistic that cable cars is a very good solution for this need. One of the critical aspects is, of course, also what was told earlier, who should run it. And we have in our society and public administration that is responsible for these things. That is the regional, Stockholms läns landsting. They are responsible for public transportation. They must be put into the arena. But what we can do is to point out the solution, show how it should be organized, financed, arrange the commercial concept and find the way forward, and then serve it to them so they can't say no.
I think you must take help from that student that Ron had, and we have in Umeå one design high school, and Arlanda, they can have en tävling, vad heter det på? Competition, and between different school, and let them try and show how they think the next generation of transportation would see out. I think it has double. The competition is one thing, but they are coming up in the news and people writing about it, and you can have all kind of, and it's the better thing that it's the next generation who is thinking about that, and that we can, maybe old people are sitting and think how would they see and who looking for the future. So I think we must take it on the next level to get ordinary people interesting.
Thank you so much, everyone.